So we're going to start looking now at the words for advanced level. The first group has a text which accompanies it, which has 20 words or phrases that we aim to learn. Let's take a look. That's group 1. You can see there really are 20 words or phrases there, and we aim to know all of those by the time we finish this group. So let's make a beginning. This is part 1 of the text. Boarding school, cool or cruel? Boarding schools are a concept familiar to people through Hogwarts, the Academy of Wizardry in the Harry Potter books and movies. Such schools accommodate mainly adolescent pupils in private rooms or dorms. They are relatively abundant in the UK, where there are over 750 schools like this. Some people, however, find the whole idea absurd and even advocate banning them. There you should probably pause and read that one more time yourself and hopefully understand a little bit more from what the text is trying to say. And if you are now ready, let's take a look at the first of the items, which is academy. So an academy is a teaching centre. It's a special kind of school. Often it's a school that specialises in one kind of skill or area of knowledge. So Harry Potter went to a school of magic, so that could be seen as an academy of magic or wizardry. Here's another example. On graduating from the academy, you're a qualified pilot. In other words, this is a school for learning how to fly. Billy's a cellist. He studied at the Royal Academy of Music, which you can guess is a school where you learn how to play instruments and things like that. Here's another example. Pupils at this boarding school in Finland can study less usual subjects. Dance, theatre and music are taught at this school's Performing Arts Academy. Accommodate is a verb that means house, the verb house, or provide accommodation for. Here's an example. Up to 500 guests can be accommodated by the hotel. So this is a hotel which can provide beds or rooms, probably beds, for 500 people. The island is unable to accommodate many tourists. It can't provide accommodation for lots of visitors. So another kind of accommodation is what we call a motorhome. A motorhome like this is able to accommodate 4 people very comfortably. We can also use the word sleep as a verb and say can sleep 4 people very comfortably. They can even be rented for a few days. This isn't a real dorm or dormitory, which is a big room where many people can sleep. Often a place like a hostel has dormitories. It's a miniature model of one. It can accommodate 10 miniature pupils. Adolescent is teenage or teen. Let's see the use of the word with those 2 meanings. Adolescent children often stress about exams. In other words, teenage children often stress over their exams. Unlike jazz, pop music is aimed largely at adolescents, at teens. Keeping a diary can be a big help to adolescent children at times. Writing about our thoughts and concerns can help us to find answers. Abundant means plentiful, existing in large quantities. The text, in other words, says that these schools are plentiful. There are plenty of schools of this kind in the UK. Online news sources are abundant, but many are unreliable. So there are lots of them, but you can't trust them all. We have abundant proof that this food additive is not safe. There's lots of proof that we need to be careful with this. Absurd is ridiculous or crazy. A lot of people think the idea of staying in a school such as this kind is ridiculous. Eric looks absurd in that hat. Is he really going to wear it? Don't be absurd. Of course we want you to come to the party. Don't, of course, is spelled with a T at the end, usually. This vehicle never existed in real life. In other words, it's what we call an imaginary design. It's an absurd imaginary design because the whole concept is ridiculous. It wouldn't really function. Advocate means to be in favor of doing something publicly or support something publicly. The politician advocates making voting compulsory. He speaks in favor of this idea. Some health experts advocate banning smoking entirely. I suppose you could use advocate to talk about things that your parents are suggesting to you, but it tends to be used about publicly expressed opinions. Some people advocate having security cameras everywhere for safety. Others find the idea absurd and an invasion of our privacy. So, at the end of each part, we will have a chance to practice some of the items that we have met. This is a rephrasing exercise where you should try to replace the green colored highlighted phrases or words with the group 1 items that you see in blue color on the left. So I suggest that you pause the video here, take as long as you need to think about this. And now if you are ready, let's see the answers. Here they are now on your screen. Some people think it's absurd to send adolescent children to study at a boarding school, an academy which accommodates pupils in dorms. Others advocate banning them entirely. So part 1 ends here. The next video will continue with part 2 of the group and part 2 of the text, boarding school, cool or cruel. So hope to see you for that.